Welcome to the No Mongo Podcast, a weekly show about all things skateboarding. My name is Rick Beta. Thanks for tuning in, and happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans out there who served for our country, who are basically allowed me to create this podcast. And thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. You know, my father included served in the Army, so thank you. Thank you for your service. And thank you for tuning in. You know, I really do appreciate you, making me part of your day, whether you're driving to work, whether you're on the treadmill. Dare I say, listening at a skate park. Damn! Who knows? But you can follow along on social media at Rick Beta, RICKBATA, and email the show nomongopodcast@gmail.com. So it's another year. Can't believe this year is almost done, almost over, and yet another great Street League Super Crown Championship, right? So this time around, they were in Rio, Brazil, and it was popping off over there, okay? Great contest, great cast of skaters, and as usual, great commentators and announcers. They had the OG Paul Zitzer, Andrew Cannon, and even, SLS veteran Sean Malto. So he was in the house. I guess he's been doing it for a little while now, I think. I can't remember how many he's done, but always love hearing his commentary. Because we all know Paul, he's one of the best to do it. But Sean, he's got a great style to it as well. He's a natural, is basically what I'm saying. Breaks down his tricks, and his obvious, firsthand knowledge really adds, value to the viewer. Much like myself. So he adds value, which is great. So well done, Malto. But yeah, I just can't remember how long he's been doing it. I'm just forgetting. But either way, I really enjoyed what Sean had to contribute to this broadcast, and I would say hire him again for next year and give him a 5% raise, please. Yeah, you hear that, SLS team? And of course, with pretty much all SLS events, they had many familiar sponsors. So if you watched it, the odds are you already have like the images of Cariuma's logo burned into your brain. We got to see plenty of Red Bull hats, and Santa Cruz was even a sponsor. Andrew was wearing a shirt the whole time. There's banners all over the place. The sponsors they had some great sponsors there, and it worked. I remembered them. I'm talking about them. As far as the riders, last year's champions, Pamela Rosa was there, Jagger Eaton, they were in the lineup this year. And I bet, Jagger was very happy to know that Nyjah would be listed as DNS, due to his, injury a few months ago. We all know this, he got injured. And how many of these has Nyjah won? Is it 4 or 5? I meant to write that down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think it's at least 4, right? It's definitely more than 3, because I think he did a 3-peat, right? And then he's won at least 1 or 2 more. Anyway, but I know they mentioned that. So I was like, oh yeah, I bet he was just like grinning, like, oh great, because not having Nyjah in the mix, having him not skating does change the the contest dynamic, right? Much kind of like what Raisa Leal is slowly doing, right? She's starting to put fear in some of the skaters' like noggins, right? It's getting in like before they even drop in, they know, oh gosh, I need to get like this many points and score and do this many tricks and this many hard tricks on the big stuff as well. I mean, it's not too obvious yet, but it is happening. It is happening. The Nyjah effect is happening on the women's side with Liel, which makes you think. I mean, are we gonna get a little bored watching the women's event in like the next few years, last decades? It could happen if we're not careful, right? It could happen. Raisa, I think it's funny. Raisa or Raisa, however you want to say it, because it gets said so many different ways, especially on this contest. Say it however you like it, but it's Rayssa, right? Raisa just might take over the world if we don't pay close attention. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But more of her in a bit. I want to start off with the fellas, the dudes. Many familiar names were in this, contest and contention. And this time around, though, the league had 2 first-time winners. Yeah, spoiler alert. Oh, no. But Portugal's very own Gustavo Ribeiro, he also won in Vegas, but he won first place and took home the crown and 25 grand, for this contest. And see, the bad part of this is, social media, obviously it's a double-edged sword, right? Because of social media and the constant news cycle, blah, blah, blah. I already know who won. You probably already know who won too, and maybe you did or did not watch it. But before I even started watching. So it didn't change my mind a bit. That's the key here, okay? I know who won, but I still try to go in with like my judge's hat, or my nerd hat on, like to judge, like to score it how I would. But I actually agreed with pretty much all of the scoring for this contest. I wasn't screaming like, "What the?" or like scratching my head at the end of the event like, "Dude, that's, that person got robbed," or anything. There was none of that at this event. The commentators only had one jinx. That's right, only one commentator, like sniper fire. But overall, it was a fantastic event that came down to the wire for both sides, men's and women's. I say if you happen to just stumble upon SLS for the first time and this was your first initial sample of the product, you'd be a happy customer. It was that good. They had a great flow and rhythm to it. It wasn't too long. I think, well, I watched it, what was it, on the YouTube clip, so it was an hour 40 each one or something like that. From start to finish, I was engaged. And keeping it on the winner just for a couple more moments, I wanted to point out that if I hadn't already known the results for this event, after seeing Gustavo slide into the 9 Club after his first run, I would have guessed he was going to win right then and there. Yeah, it was that dominant of a first run. His first run was flawless. I mean, talk about one and done, right? I mean, because that's basically what he did, stomping a 9.2 from the start. And not only was he doing like great and very difficult tricks, it was how he was doing them that mattered, okay? And namely, actually, how he landed that stood out for me. I wrote how he landed in my notes because look at how he landed on all of his tricks. Each and every one was done with authority. Like I felt him landing those tricks. And his runs were all about his landings. Stomped them. Bolts. I can imagine his mind. He's like thinking, look at me. Are you not entertained? Stomp. Take it easy on those bushings though, Gustavo. Your trucks need a break too, dude. Relax a bit. I mean, how many bushings does he go through in a year? Most of us have the same bushings for like 40 years, but he probably just goes through those like a couple weeks. But getting 4 straight 9s pretty much opened a pathway to victory for him. 4 straight 9s. How are you going to top that? And at this point, it was just kind of like a mental battle for the rest of the field, right? They all knew they were gunning for second place at that point. They're like, oh, great, Gustavo's got this. Let's fight for second now. And it's hard to beat his nose grind nollie flip outs, And he got it on one on the final attempt. He had ice in his veins for that one. SLS rookie Braden Hoban pretty much had the best style of the day for me, or the weekend, I should say. And he's a Street League rookie. I was like, stop lying. He's not a rookie. He looks like he's been doing it for years, But Braden, he's got a bright contest career ahead of him. It's like he was born for contests, I don't know. I guess I'm calling it now, right? He's going to be a force in competitions for many, many years to come. I'm excited to see him just grow. And that kickflip back nose blunt on the final try. Ridiculous. You were just showing off, dude. Yeah, you make it look way too easy. You're just showing off. And you got that well-deserved 9.6 for that one. And a well-deserved spot in second place, I mean, he's the only guy doing all the impossible 50-50s these days, It's not an easy trick. No. It's ridiculous. Well-deserved second place, though. And he got $10,000 that, comes with that second place prize. Some may say that Chris Jocelyn just kind of came in and stole third place from Yuto with that back 3, I know there's some like unspoken rules and etiquette, right? It happens in all sports, right? But he doesn't care. He's gonna huck it down those steps and stomp into third place, and you're gonna like it, mister. I do love how Malto kind of put him on blast for doing that. He's like they say in the movie Pulp Fiction, don't steal another man's tricks. Don't do it. It's not cool, punk. Maybe that wasn't from Pulp. I'm just kind of making it up. Anyway, unsportsmanlike conduct or not, that backside big flip was pretty damn gnarly. He wasn't stealing that from anyone. He earned it. In fact, he could probably spin it back at Yuto and say, hey, man, you could totally try and steal my backside big flips. Go ahead. Try and figure it out. Yeah. I think he could do them, though. I'll even let you go first, dude. Now what, punk? Hold me back. Hold me. Yuto and Chris are fighting. That would get some ratings. Huh? That would get some clicks. Not endorsing that at all. Don't do it, guys. Yuto handled it like a boss. He just kept trying it. But Chris got his 9 club tricks, and, a third place was a proper placement for him, and, of course, $7,500 for his performance. Oh, and speaking of Mr. Horigome, you know what? Let me give him golf claps. Poor guy was struggling a lot. I'm holding my fingers. It's not a little bit. Actually, no, I'm going to use both hands. He struggled this much. 2 falls in his first run. 4 falls in his best trick attempts. That's 4 out of 4 best trick attempts. No makes. So needless to say, he did not have a good time in Brazil. That's why I wanted to just give him some encouragement, some golf claps. Nothing was working for the man. Nothing. But he'll be back, though. That was a rough outing for the guy, though. And last year's Super Crown champ, Jagger Eaton, struggled. Actually, he struggled this much, too. This much. Nothing was working for him as well. He never looked comfortable, and he too missed all 4 of his best trick attempts. All 4. Jagger Eaton. And you want to know what I think happened? I feel that he didn't do as well because he wasn't rocking any AirPods. No, he wasn't rocking any this time. There was nothing in his ear. No head bobbing. I don't know what he's listening to, maybe Metallica or some hip hop. It was just the overall ambiance of the contest setting. That's all he had in his ears. Could that have made a difference? I mean, maybe, right? It's kind of what I've known to see him do. He has headphones in. He would literally pull out his phone, press play, get going. And I think it might have kept him sparked, maybe to do better, It just seemed like out of character to have him not have like white things in his ears, I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's the new him, maybe he's not doing it. However, unlike Vincent Malou, who would rock his, over-the-ear headphones in between runs, I mean, those things were ginormous. I mean, he wasn't confident enough, of course, to rock them during like a contest like a Nishad might do. He stayed in his lane, but I wonder what he was tuning into, Because you think, like, you get a little nibble of something. It was a little taste of a song. But then again, he seems just like kind of like the type to have just positive affirmations on loop, right? Or maybe like some Stuart Small, You're good enough. You're smart enough. And doggone it, people like you. All right, cool. Drop in. Canadian's very own Ryan DeCenzo took 4th place. Ryan had some solid tricks and a nice kickflip front blunt, but it wasn't enough. He also too seemed like his nerves maybe got the best of him. He just wasn't feeling it. He did kill it at that dime contest, so maybe that was more important. And of course, I can't forget Felipe Gustavo. Brazil represent, right? He started off strong. Ended up sticking to like more smaller obstacles and rails. Therefore not basically being able to advance. Right? The judges were accurate. They were strict, but they, like I said, I agreed with all the scoring. Especially for Felipe, everything was very accurate and appropriate. So he did not, and I'm sure he knows he could have done better. It just wasn't in the cards for him. This was an amazing event, though. One of the best I've seen in a long, long time. And it came down, to the last 2 skaters. The scores were 27.7, 27.6. Talk about neck and neck. It's like, how are you not entertained at this point? Braden, throwing the horns, getting the crowd all hyped, breaking that 4th wall, right? Because that's how he has a bright, bright future in the contest scene. It didn't even faze him. He wanted the crowd hyped, even if he didn't get that, final make, It didn't work, but it will next time. Crowd hype sometimes works. But as I just mentioned, Gustavo, he needed a 9.2 to seal the deal. You could feel the tension in the air, right? And I loved how the director, he called to switch the camera, which was showing Braden sitting down nearby, almost kind of like cheering him on to cheering him to either make or fail, right? That was a cool moment. That came down the wire, the last 2 skaters, and of course they had to have them in the same frame, at least for a moment. But that was a pretty cool image to see. And then seconds later, he called for, I'll call it, camera 5, which pretty much blocked the entire trick. Mr. Control de Accesso, Mr. Access Control, killed the moment, man. It's like, What was he doing? Was he playing with his cat or something? He was kind of Was it a bug? What is going on there? And why did we have to see that? That was the only flaw of this entire contest, was the decision to take, camera 5 or 6, quote unquote, whatever number that was. I mean, either way, though, it blocked the entire trick. How do we know we pulled it off? Do we know? I mean, of course, people were in attendance and they saw it, but it could have been a 50-50 for all I know. What are the conspiracy, theorists saying out there? What's the slapboards? What are the slapboards complaining about? No, they're probably not talking about this contest. What am I saying? However, they did show us the alternate angle. I appreciate that, but you know me. I didn't even watch it for the trick. I watched it to see what the hell, Mr. CAD was swatting at. What was he trying to control over there? Who was trying to access something over there he was trying to control? Was he messing with the cameraman? Because if you look at it, that's the only thing that's around him. What the hell did he do to you, sir? Or was it a bug? I need answers. I want answers. Let him do his job, okay? No swatting at the camera lens. But for real, though, doing that trick on the last attempt, he had ice in his veins, for sure. So well done. Bravo. 9.3 to take the win. That was cool. And the women's event was filled with equal amounts of excitement. Much like I mentioned at the top, Ray Salil is on her way to becoming a force in, skateboarding competitions. We've seen this. We've known this. It's coming to fruition. She's growing into her own. She is built for them, and can handle the pressure. That's the thing. She can handle the pressure very well. And, much like Braden, she likes to hype up the crowd in the process too. She's encouraged, get loud. Yay, come on. Louder. And that's how you can tell that she's locked in. It's kind of like breaking that fourth wall to invite the crowd in, and it makes us all experience the moment together, right? We're all in it at that moment. And coming into this event, she won all 3 stops before this one. Straight domination. Plus she was the home favorite, of course, so she had that on her side, right? And she had solid runs. Even if she didn't skate as fast as Pamela Rosa, that's the thing too. I noticed it's way difference in speed, right? She still got it. She made up any discrepancy she had in speed or whatever, she made up with her tricks. Ray Salil, she gave it her all, though. She even cramped up at one point during one of her runs and, had to finish a bit short. But we still don't really know what happened, though. I think it was just, some cramping up or something. They probably massaged it out. But she fought through it, managed to kind of steal the deal and, get $25,000 for the podium. But what was crazy, though, is that for as loud as the crowd got, they sure were really quiet. When the doctors were checking on her, you could hear a pin drop. Pamela Rosa got the crowd going too. Brazil represent. Huge cheers from the home crowd. Huge. But I was a little confused on her first run. Right towards the end, when she waved off someone, okay? She was looking way to her right too, because when they switched the camera angles, it looked like it was the dude in yellow. Maybe it was a visual distraction for her, Either way, she rushed for her next attempt and chewed on some concrete. 21-22. But then she proceeded to get up, turn around, scold the dude in the yellow shirt, which is that's the only person I can think of. I was like, what the hell happened, Pamela? Are you okay? He wasn't even near you. And you had tons of space from the angle that I saw. Tons of space. Even the other skaters moved over. It was so confusing. Control de exceso. Did he have something to do with it to piss her off? I don't know. But what's crazy is that, moments later, for another run coming in from that same angle, she got sent rolling to the ground. That's right. It came back to haunt her in her second run. She got sniped, just rolling in. So that kind of sucked to see. And not a fun way to lose to opponent, right? Everyone wants to compete. You don't want to see your competitor to go down like that. We want to see a great run, but she didn't get that, but she seemed on a mission to get that trick, and complete that run though. But she ended up getting 5th place. Funa Nakayama slid into second, taking home $10,000. Great job there. And she had to just throw down that front crook down one of those rails, and we all know she could do them down the Hollywood 16 now. Yeah, we saw that future Thrasher cover. She's out there skating rails like they're small curbs to her and stuff. So such great style too. And then speaking of style, I think Momoji Nishia has my favorite style of this final 8 group. She even took a wicked slam for her final attempt. I was like, damn, ouch. She bounced out her. She'd have pulled a Marty McFly, right? Bouncing her head off the cement. That wasn't fun to see. But she ended up taking 3rd, though. She still got it. Still got that $7,500 coming in. Do they still give people big checks? Or they just kind of just send it via electronic transfer, But way to go, Emoji. And much like with the fellas, there were some skaters that didn't have the best time on 4 wheels. Yumika Oda just wasn't feeling it. Like, she was not feeling it at all for this contest. Nothing was working for her. Poe Pinson, she tried to pack in as many tricks as she could during her runs, even threw in a late shove it for me. Thanks, Poe. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, nothing was working for her. She was close. I think, what was she trying, the kickflip nose slide at the end for best trick, and just, she committed to that and it just didn't work. She went all in on that. Gabby Mazzetto, another local favorite, had a perfect first run, but then everything kind of started to crumble away for her. Gabby just, she was sent home with, $1,000 for her time. Yeah, not bad for 7th place, What is that, like, $650 with taxes or something, if you put away the money for taxes? But hey, not bad for 7th place. And luckily, Wenwei Zhang was the only skater on the field, I mentioned this earlier, to feel the wrath of a commentator jinx. Right around 9 minutes and 16 seconds, bam, sniper. It's right about the time when Paul said, so far so good. He's right as soon as he said good. Seconds later, like literally seconds later, she missed her trick. I was like, oh, Paul, oh. I mean, we knew it was going to happen eventually, right? Most commentators can't help it. So far, so good. I would try to, like, play it off. Like, so far, good. Like, Paul, are you okay, dude? What are you saying right now? Nothing. Got something stuck in my throat. Or I would have just owned it right away. Oh, that's on me. Kind of put the commentator gods at ease. Like, it's my bad. That's on me. I'm sorry. But moving along. But she's got an awesome salad grind, though, and who knows what she would have ended up with if it wasn't for the jinx. Who knows, But congrats to Raisa Leal. You've come a long way since, like, those times in that Tinkerbell outfit, right? Was that what it was? Tinkerbell? She was doing, like, a heel flip off some steps. She was the one clip that all your grandmas and parents were saying, oh, my God, look at this girl. Oh, my God, Rick, look at this. I'm like, yeah, all my friends know. We've seen it. We've all seen it. Thank you. But that's her. She's come a long way. One other notable I wanted to mention, though, from just after discovering her this year and moving forward, I saw her clips from it was the Jersey stop. Chloe Covell. She's only 12 years old and probably one of the only few female skaters in contests throwing down switch tricks. Australia, represent. I think I got some listeners out in Australia. Chloe, you got something good with Chloe, you guys. Yeah, she's going to be huge in this league. I'm calling it now. 12 years old, doing, like, switch kickflips down, like, gaps and steps. Like, damn, okay. So grab your popcorn for her. I'm just, like I said, she wasn't in this event, but I had to point out, she's on my radar. But all in all, though, this is a great event. It was about 3 hours of my time. So, put it on while you fold the laundry or something. You're cooking some dinner. Put on your earbuds. Listen to the commentators talk. Listen to Sean Malto work his magic. I mean, there is some epic skating in there. So dig that as well. You hear? And congrats to all the winners of the 2022 Super Crown Championship. Quick water break. Next up, I just had to chime in on the beautifully crafted Alan Gelfand High video that dropped, about 3 days ago. First off, I'm going to assume that everyone tuning in knows who Alan Gelfand is. If not, there's your homework assignment, kids. Don't copy off each other either. But let me just start off with this. I watched this video on my phone, and the only comment that was shown underneath, you know how they give you previews of the comments, said, quote, better than mid-90s and North Hollywood. I agreed with Nanobite's comment before I even clicked start. That's how much confidence I had with this one, And he was right. Hell, hey, Nano, you could even go back and edit that post and add in Street Dreams as well. Just saying. It might even get more thumbs up that way. Oh, but I knew this was quality production within the first 10 seconds. 10 seconds, right? That's all it took to hook me. 10 seconds. Hear me out. Right at the 8-second mark, you got to give them credit for making sure they try their best to find the perfect school for Allen Gelfand High, right? See how they filmed that? Showing only the D, and the rest of it was kind of hidden behind the trees. So you just had D High School as to, make it more believable. Well done, team. Well done. Don't think I wouldn't catch that. Couldn't slip that past me. Attention to details, baby. And that works for me. But anyone know which school that was? I'm assuming it was in LA. It was sunny. Moments later, we got to hear, see, and meet Bob, our quote-unquote hero. As he says, everyone knows me. Bob is the man. Man, I love Bob. Can we get an entire series or movie with Bob? I love the little hidden message there, too, about trying to fit in, hanging with the cool guys, not trying to be too desperate. Don't worry, weekend guys. Just remember you are the weekend guys, and you will never have to worry about fitting in, okay? You do you. That's why we love you. So if there was some hidden message behind that, don't worry about it, guys. You don't have to. You fit in. You fit in well in the skateboarding industry, in the community here. But there are so many great moments in this 7-minute and 40-second video. I could list them all, but I won't. But genius stuff. Genius. This is, quote, this is your brain on Baker. Oh, damn. Half piss drunks, half babysitters. Let me try and repeat that without laughing. Half piss drunks, half babysitters. Insert skull emoji. Dead. Such two extremes. Because it's true, right? And why did Bob put on his shade filter to say what's up to Spanky? I need answers. And why was Spanky sitting down on the ground? Oh, that was so funny. Half piss drunk, half babysitters. Nailed it. And the lads from across the pond. These guys don't wait in the queue for free lunch. It was like, mad. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, gosh. And then they had, try solving this crazy puzzle right here. What's up, Crazy Frankie? The frog team? Crayons everywhere. Glitter smudged all around. And they're so young. How are they allowed on campus with no supervision? Who's in charge over there? What are these kids doing? How old are they? Who's Jesse? I was dying. Why don't you guys draw me up a graphic sometime? Just kidding. Oh, shots fired at Frog. Damn. Oh, and what's the meaning behind frog fin? You guys notice that? What's the meaning behind that? Said it on the kid's shirt. Am I missing something? Fill me in, please. Fill me in. The Australians, of course, had to have some shrimp on the Barbie. And Foster's tall cans, of course. Duh. That was funny, though. But my favorite moment was that 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Cut to minivan and enter Shoddy Shod. Yeah, he's way out of your league. Shoddy Shod. He smells roses, has that signature smile. But you have to pay attention to how he grabs that rose, pulls it in, smells it, and the key thing here, the release. It's all in the release. Not a single rose petal was harmed during the filming of this video. Look at that release. I mean, dude even makes smelling roses look so damn stylish. The hell? This is not fair, Rashad. I need to speak to a manager. Look at the way he smells roses, guys. That release. Look at the fingers, the release. No petals fell. Damn. Just points and smiles with ease. The shot is out of all of our leagues. We all need to find like a different spot to sit at for brunch and lunch moving forward. This video just did it. Sealed the deal. They even had a Professor Schmidt cameo. Fumes and all. Yeah. Smell those. Smile too. I was cracking up when they walked by that couple making out. The hiss. The Korn song. Falling away from me. That was great. Great addition. There's a little hiss, you know. It just takes it out of the moment for a second. Then they introduced us to the don't even think about it crew. The hockey team. Oh, gosh. I was cracking up, though. The helmet. The hair. The image of the cat on ice. I mean, that's something I'll have to circle back and look up. Cats on ice. Is there some video clips of that? I bet it's probably pretty funny. But how about those shots fired at Welcome Skateboards? Damn. Is Nora holding up the team all by herself? I think they're holding strong after Ryan's departure, right? They're still good. They're good. That was such a solid take, though. Here, look at Nora holding up the team as usual. Shots fired. But way to stay strong, though, Nora. We know you can all do it. You know, should that be, or if that is truly indeed what's happening, you got this. You can handle it. The vloggers were so damn accurate, too. So much thought into this video, I tell you. I could break down every scene, every moment. There were so many great cameos in this video. One of my favorites, too, was the janitor. And I won't ruin it for you if you haven't seen it yet. They were like, do yourself a favor and stay away from that guy. I just want to know what he was, like, mopping up out there, you know? I mean, I feel if you're on concrete, you can just use a hose. But what do I know? I don't know. Just was like, you good, janitor? Thumbs up. The primitive team intro was spot on. I agree. Can it get any more perfect? Perfect team. The future is primitive, right? We all want to hang with the prod father. But we need to talk to his agent first. Yeah. Gotta lock those details in. Don't slide into his DMs, you know, even without talking to his agent first. And then they got to the rollerbladers, right? Quote unquote, it's social suicide, as Bob said. We don't hang with them. Or do we, though? And you know they had to end it with a cute meet, you know, a nice bonding moment when that dude's bag, you know, fell to the ground and what was like a coin or something? What the hell was that thing that rolled over to the blader? But it was at this moment in time that I knew something strong was being formed here, like a true bond. You know, it was that moment right there. It's we see it in the movies, the cute meet. And then, you know, another video later, we got to see it all go down for the second part. Skateboarding, teaming up, skateboarding x rollerblading, 7 minutes and 25 seconds. And I loved the police squad, you know, Naked Gun effect at the beginning, you know, chasing down them skaters and bladers all at the same time, of course. We even got to hear from the man himself, Frank Drebin, R.I.P. Leslie Nielsen. I was a huge fan, still am a huge fan of his work. Love that guy, miss that guy, one of the best to do it. And in case you didn't notice, it was from one of the greatest scenes in that franchise. The famous, you know, money exchange, you know, for information scene. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before. I'll include it in the link below. So funny. So funny. So the Weekend guys they know what's up. They know what's up with that clip. It's like classic. So bravo for including that. And it was followed up with some of the most amazing skating and blading I have ever seen, like combined. Groundbreaking, team. Groundbreaking. Like pushing boundaries. Not wanting to sit at the cool kids table. No. It's the collab we didn't know we needed. However, I'm in a much different mind space than I was when I was, say, maybe in my 20s. Back then, I probably would have thought, this is lame. This is dumb. Have you seen it yet? Why not? Are you a blader hater? Maybe you're worried that this will change your views and your mind. I know. Let's real talk here. that's probably what you're feeling, right? And if so, then I have to say, you have to watch it then, okay? If you're torn, you're on the fence, all I have to say is that you have to stop fighting that feeling. You can't fight it anymore. You've probably forgotten what you started fighting for to begin with. It's time to bring this ship into the shore, throw away the oar forever. Trust me. Do it. These 2 videos made my week. Quote, it's just wheels. Don't look at me. Should he be drinking with no liver? I mean, there's so many one-liners that I loved from these 2 videos. And I love them so much that I want more. In fact, I don't even care about the Sodi race anymore. I don't even care. Whatever. I want this. I want more of this. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Oh, shoot. One last thing. King Skateboards, huh? King Skateboards. December 2nd. I'll probably talk more on that maybe next week or the week after. King Skateboards. Interesting.